here is our shell, but what we want here is linpiece so that we can transfer that linpiece to that machine which we are attacking. This is the password for my key user. So we are managed to get his password. If we are managed to dump all the database, and inside the database all the passwords is stored as hashes. Hello everyone, my name is ShubhamSec. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we are going to do our new room which is gallery. So this is not our cybersecurity learning roadmap series room. This is something else that we are going to do today. We are going to hack this machine which is called gallery, and its description says that try to exploit our image gallery system. And this is not a premium room, and if you want to follow along with me, boot up your Kali Linux machine and let's get into it. So before any further ado, let's start the machine and start hacking on this platform. So this machine will take up to 1 minute or so to show us the IP address. Meanwhile, let me do our thing. Kali Linux. I'm using Kali Linux in Windows host using WSL, which is Windows subsystem for Linux, and I'm going to use kex here. And it's it's booting up, starting WinKex. Okay, so we are inside WinKex. Let me adjust. It's If you press F8, you can exit out of the full screen, then make it full screen again so that you can see it properly. Oh shit! I have to run that machine here, not there. TryHackMe, and let's copy this. Let me show you a trick so that this makes our life a much easier. If you go to the terminal, and what I'm going to do is update my etc hosts file. Let me show you how we can do that. Sudo nano etc hosts. Directory etc doesn't exist, obviously, because I'm a fool. Now, so here what we have to do is paste the IP address and then name it whatever you want. AWERY dot thm. I'm going to name that gallery.thm so that you don't have to type IP address in terminal again and again. You just use gallery.thm, and what this etc host file does is it resolves your IP address with a domain name or whatever you are calling this, its domain, obviously. Control X, Y, enter. Now, if I ping that machine, let's say it's up or not, and it seems it is sent up. Let me see if I typed it correctly. GALLERY. It's correct. Okay, let me ping it again. Why is that? Ping IP address. Oh, shoot. We haven't set our VPN. That's why it's happening here. So let's go to TryHackMe directory and then sudo open VPN and the name of the VPN, that is ShubhamSec.ovpn, and it says initialization sequence completed. Okay, let me name this tab as VPN. You can do that by pressing Alt Shift S, name it, and okay. Now and if you want to add a tab, you should press Ctrl Shift T and it will add a tab. Now what we have to do, let's ping this machine again, gallery.thm, and now it's working. So what we have to do here first, there is no guidance for this room we have, so we have to do our normal enumeration that we used to do. These are the steps, and you can also follow these steps. Let me clear the screen and open Notion so that I can take notes while I'm doing this room. Let me open Notion, and you can also follow this note taking process, because note taking is very important in cybersecurities. And if you solving any room, you should take notes, because sometimes you can, if you are doing new room, you can refer some of the things from the previous rooms that you have done. So here, let me these are the rooms that I have done so far. I want to add a private page which is gallery, ALLERY, and it's TryHackMe room, and let me save it. So what we are going to do first is, let's nmap this machine. This is the previous folder that I made. So let me remove it first, -r gallery, and let me create it again. mkdir gallery cd gallery, nothing in this folder. Let me clear it, and now let's start our enumeration. Let me make a no, I'm not making a, just nmap this machine so that we can see the hidden ports and all the things. Now sc for default scripts, s uh, sv for enumerating the versions, and the name of the host. Let's see what we get here, and let let's keep it running behind. Let me rename this tab, that is Nmap. Let's spin up a Gobuster scan, but it's up. Now let's see what we have to do. First is right here. Our first phase is enumeration. So type enumeration, and then inside enumeration, what we have done so far is Nmap scan. So Nmap, let's make a code block and put the results inside the code block. So this is the output of our Nmap scan. So what we have 22, that is SH80, that is the web server, and 8080 is also a web server. It's running Apache HTTPD. So what we have to do from here, because we don't have any username, so we are not going to do from this path. Where we should go from here is, let's open this web servers. so that we can see what's running here. Now, before going towards the web server, let's spin up a Gobuster scan so that we can see the hidden directories if there is any. Let me add a new tab, rename the tab Gobuster, and then let me up the text Gobuster, and we have to choose the mode, that is this. If you are doing directory brute forcing, you should use this mode, that is dir. After that, we have to give the URL using the -u tag or flag, whatever you want to call it. http://gallery.thm, and we have to specify the word list with -w flag. So where I put my word list, maybe in opt word lists directory. No, we are going to use this medium size word list. Let me copy this, and then I have messed up something. So this is the word list, and then put it here and press enter. And our Gobuster scan is started, and this gives us a directory which is gallery. Before going to the gallery, let's open the web server. Okay, so gallery.thm, if you go to this, it won't show anything, but why? http://gallery.thm. Okay, so this is the default page for Apache to Ubuntu default page, and nothing here. We are not going to see here. Let me go to the gallery directory. Interesting. So here we can see a page which is a login page. So let's let's update our notes. So after that, going towards http://gallery.thm, what we got is a login page, but in gallery and login.php. So let me take a screenshot of this, and I use Flameshot for my screenshots. And this is what I am seeing right now. Let's grab the URL too. So this is the login page, and this is the path. Let me copy it and dump it to my notes. So this is what we got so far. And if you see our Nmap, we also have 8080 port. So let's go to that location and see what's inside it. http://gallery.thm, and the port is 8080. Nothing. No, this is nothing because I am a fool. You have to specify a port using colons. Okay, so this is the same page that we have seen before. So what are the next steps that we are going to do here is the uh, the simple image gallery. This is the login page for simple image gallery. So let's see if there is any exploit that is present for this specific system, that is simple image gallery. Let me go to my terminal, and then I think this will not gonna give us more than this. Now if you let me add a new tab. Let me first grab the screenshot for the Gobuster scan. So this is the scan that we have done by Gobuster, and this is the endpoint that we find using Gobuster. Let me copy this and dump that into my notes. Where is my notes? Here. So that's the Nmap scan, and after that, let me insert a heading 2 and then Gobuster. Let me paste it here. So here we see this thing, and after that we see this gallery. So what we are going to do after that is search an exploit for that, if there is any exploit present for that system. So how we can do that is search exploit, and then let me press dash h for the help. Okay, so search exploit options. Okay, so we have to give the URL, not URL, the name of the system that we are seeing on that login page. So let me clear the screen, search exploit, and then simple image gallery. Is that okay? Simple image gallery. Let me press enter and see if there is any exploit that we have 4 exploits. So first is Joomla plugin, simple image gallery extended siege. So this is some of the exploits that we can see here. Let me zoom out a little bit and press it again. Okay. So here we can see we have some results for the exploitation of that image gallery. So here you can see remote code execution unauthenticated and SQL injection. Okay. So let's go from here. Simple image gallery unauthenticated remote code execution. So if you want to download this exploit, not this one. So what you have to do is copy it and mirror it using the m flag. Paste it here and press enter, and it will go to your current directory. If I ls, we can see our exploit downloaded here. Let me rename this exploit to rce dot py. Okay, so here we have our exploit. Now let's see how this exploit is going to work. Let me cat out the content of this rce.py. So this is the code is running behind this Python file, and here we can see request. These are the modules that are mentioned up here. After that, URL input. So this is the input tag. If we run this program, it will ask us for an input, and we are going to give that parameter a value, which is our URL of the simple image gallery, and then it will do its thing. So if you see here, some SQL injection is going on too. You can see 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so let's clear the screen and run that program, and it will say import command not found. Okay, do we have Python? We have Python. Of course, this is not done by this way because this is not a sh file, this is a Python file, so we should use Python 3 before it, and then rc.py, and it will ask us for the target, and that is uh, gallery.thm login bypass, but there is the errors how they can do login bypass. JSON decoder error, but they but we can see login bypass here. Let's get that RCE file again, from where we can get that message that is login bypass. This is the value. This is the not the value. This is the string that we see in our terminal, and maybe this is the payload for the remote code execution. But it's not working. I don't know why, because I'm not a programmer. Let's go with the SQL injection, maybe username, because they are also going to do that thing after that login bypass. Whenever you see a login page, your first steps is to check the default credentials for that. If you press admin and admin, sometimes it will let you in, but in this case, it's not. You can also see the default credentials for this simple image gallery system by searching on the Google default credentials, and if we are managed to get one, we are going to put that inside that login page, and this is the same thing that we have downloaded using the searchsploit tool, because the exploit database is the terminal equivalent of searchsploit. I think I have uh, said it wrong. The searchsploit is the terminal equivalent of the exploit database. So whatever you are downloading from this here is downloaded from the uh, searchsploit. So if we can see here, you can see rce.py. This is the same code that you are seeing here. So you can do it directly from the terminal, but if you want to do it from here, what you have to do is download the exploit from here. And let me tell you, see, you have seen this login bypass inside my terminal, and after that this SQL injection query. And where is that? This one, admin or 1 equal to 1. So if you don't get any creds that is default for that page, what you have to do is perform some SQL injection queries. Usually how we do that by using this single quote first. If we press enter, incorrect. Let me do it again. And if I comment the rest of the string using the pound symbol, let me see what we get. We are not getting anything here. So just perform that admin equal to 1 or 1. In this case, because we have appending the pound sign here, the rest of the query is commented out. So the internal backend code is not going to check the password for this page. Whatever you write here is not going to check. Now, if I sign in and we are in, so SQL injection is possible in this simple image gallery. And if we see from our previous search exploit result, you can see SQL injection is possible here. So that is what we have done here. Let me grab the screenshot of this too, so that we can understand in our later examination that we have done it using the SQL injection. Login bypass, maybe we are going to do with this text something, but let me uh, update our notes first. So h2 login page bypass using the SQL injection. So let me paste it here, and the uh, query that we have used to bypass that login page. Where is that query? That is here. Paste it here. So this is what we used to bypass the login page. Now, what we have to do after that is let's explore the website. So this will go to this login page. This is not clickable. Gallery by Oratonome 23. If I am okay, this is something else. So let's go to home. I think we are already in home. Let's go to album. Okay. So these are some of the pictures that. So we have an option to add a new album. Okay, we can perform some see, cross-site scripting here, because whenever you see something like this which is going to reflect on your website, you can perform accesses here. Let me see if we can add a gallery, not gallery, album, which is please subscribe. Save, and if here you can see please subscribe. So what if I add HTML tags and then please subscribe? Is it going to execute that HTML tags or not? Save it, and yes, you can see it becomes h1. So maybe I can do the cross-site scripting here. So if we type script, then alert, just for the proof of concept, and then close that script tag, and if this executes, and this executes, that means this is the proof of concept for cross-site scripting. If you are doing bug bounty hunting, this is enough to show the impact that we are going to have the cross-site scripting inside your website. So let me copy this and paste it inside my notes. Success possible. And here is the proof of concept, and the payload that we used here is, let me add it into a code block. And what was that? Script. See what I'm doing, I don't know. Alert, close that using the semicolon, semicomma, and then this thing. Let me save it. But our mission here What is our mission? Let me go to that image gallery and what they are asking us to do. So, how many ports are open? That will be, we have to search our nodes where we have put our Nmap results, and here is that, and you can see one, two, three, only three ports. Let's paste it. Okay, so this is the right answer. What's the name of the CMS? That is a simple image gallery. So that's a CMS, content management system. Content management system. Am I right? Content management system. Okay, right. What's the hash password of the admin user? What's the user flag? Okay, so what is the admin hash? Let me see what we can do here. So this is the avatars. Okay, we also have an upload feature here. Now let's upload a shell here. Whenever you see an upload functionality, you have to try the getting remote code execution by uploading a shell. So this is the upload functionality that we are going to abuse if we are we are able to abuse that. So what we can say, this heading is RCE opportunity. Okay, this is the screenshot of that. And before doing that, let me prepare a shell to upload in that upload functionality. So where is my shell? Cd op scripts ls linpiece, not linpiece. I want a shell. Now let's grab a shell from the internet, and what we are going to need is PHP reverse shell. If you go to the pentest monkey, this is a very reliable shell that you can use for your exploitation. So you have to press raw and then copy this, and let's get back to the terminal. Let me make a directory for my shells, and then okay, we have to sudo. Okay, now cd2 shells, and then nano php reverse shell dot php. Press enter, control shift V, and then you have to change the IP address of the machine where you want the reverse connection. So that will be your own IP address, and mine is 192.168.157.194, and for the port I'm going to use quad 8, 192, 168, 157, 192, 168, 157, and 194. Let me save it. Control O, enter, Control X. Now let me cat out that PHP shell so that we can see if everything is right. So here is my IP and my port that we want to listen on. Now it's a good practice to put your shells inside your op directory and then copy it to your current directory where you are working currently. Now let me go to TryHackMe cd home ShubhamSec TryHackMe Gallery ls, and what I want to do is copy that PHP shell from the op directory shells PHP to the current directory using the period. Now press enter and ls. Let me rename this shell to something small, PHP to shell dot PHP. ls, let's clear the screen, and now we are going to upload this shell to that web page. Web page is upload functionality. Now let me first start a listener where we are going to see our connection back using that reverse shell. Let me rename this to listener, and then netcat. Let me set up a netcat listener, netcat lvnp, and our port that we have mentioned in that PHP file. So that's the port. Let me upload the shell gallery, and we have to choose all files and upload, and it's done. And here you can see shell.php. So we are managed to upload that shell. Let me take a screenshot. So and this is the shell that we have uploaded here. Okay, let me copy this and then paste it here. So we managed to upload our shell. Now let me execute that shell so that we can get a reverse connection to our terminal. Oh, it executed it right away. We have the connection back. Now let's see who am I. So we are dub data. Now what we have to do now what we have to do from here is our first step is to stabilize this shell, and how we can do that is using some set of commands, that is export term is equal to xterm, and then python 3 dash c inverted in quotes import pty semicolon pty dot spawn, and then inside brackets we have to add pin bash, and let me close it, and then code that we have put in before the import, that should also be closed at the last of that command. Now press enter, and now you have to background this process by pressing Ctrl Z and then write stdy raw minus echo inverted comma foreground, press enter and then reset. Now you can see we have a stabilized shell. Now let me see ls. So now we can use up and down arrow keys to navigate through this directory, and we can see our last commands using up and down arrow keys. And the first thing that we have to do after getting a reverse shell is navigate the directories so that we can see what's in there. So usually I don't want to waste any of your time. So let's see. First, what we have to see is the users, the present users in this system. So how we can do that? By using etc password. Let me press enter. So here you can see that we have a user that is Mike and Ubuntu, and maybe we have to go through this user. So let me clear the screen, and we are not root and we have to elevate our privileges to root. So what we have to do is upload linpiece to this machine and then run it, so that linpiece give us the unconfigured files or anything that is our potential attack vector. So how we can do that? By setting up a web server. So what we have to do now is, by setting up a web server, we have to download that linpiece inside this machine, and let me do that. So Control Shift T, let me rename this tab as web server. And how we start a web server, let me tell you how. So if you press, let me give the sudo permissions, sudo py python 3 dash m for module, and the module that we are going to use is http.server, and the port, that is 80. Let me add my password, and here is the server is running. So whatever in this directory is accessed using the using this server, using this IP that we are seeing here. So I don't know what is inside this directory. So let me first ls here. So here is our shell, but what we want here is linpiece, so that we can transfer that linpiece to that machine which we are attacking. So my linpiece is inside my opt directory, then scripts, maybe scripts linpiece, and by using period you can copy that linpiece to this current directory. If we ls, we can see linpiece here. So now what we have to do is, this is our session, our reverse shell, and this is our server running here. Now we use wget to install, to not install, to download that linpiece into this machine. So how we can do that? By supplying our IP, that is http colon slash slash 192.168.157.194, and then linpiece.sh. We press enter, and we can see we are not able to write to this directory, permission denied. Whenever you see this error, that is permission denied, so what you have to do is change your directory to temp directory, because we are able to write anything in temp directory. We don't need permissions to write in temp directory, which is temporary. Now let's again run that command, and let's see if we are managed to upload that. And yes, we are going to see our linpiece transferred to that victim machine. So after that, we are going to run linpiece. Okay, now let's manage our nodes. So we have done this, and we got our root here, and let me grab a screenshot of this too. So this is the screenshot of that session that we get from by executing the shell, that is reverse shell. Let me paste that here, and after that we are managed to upload the linpiece. If you upload the linpiece, you can check if it is executable or not. And how you can do that? By using ls-l command. So here you can see that linpiece don't have the execute permissions, only read and write permissions. So how we can change the execute permissions of that script? So This is how we can do that. Change mode. Matlab, that means change mode to executable plus X and the file which is linpiece.sh. If we press ls-l again, you can see we have all the permissions. So now let me clear the screen and run this script here. Linpiece.sh. Let me press enter and see if we can see anything interesting. So here you can also see that anything which is red and yellow, that is 95% a potential attack vector for us. So we have to wait for that. Let's wait. We have to wait. Now it's doing its thing. So this will take out any misconfigured files or any misconfiguration, and we can use that in order to escalate our privileges to root. Currently we are www data. So this is a very big output. I should have record that output to some file. But it's not. I think I have to do that, but whatever. Let it run. Do not forget to execute sudo l without password. Okay, so this is something sudo l. What this command gives us that the current user, what the current user is able to execute as root. So maybe we will use this too. ICMP is not accessible. Okay, so let's glance through the result we have so far. Okay, users with sudo privileges in sudoers. So Mike is the user. Here is the user root, SSM user, and a user Ubuntu. So we have 4 users here. This is the interesting information. So let me dump that in our notes, copy it, and then paste it here. So these are the users, and let's go. And I think bin bash. Wait for it. Okay, so I think the scan is done. Yes, it's done. Now let's go through this this thing that we are seeing here, the output of the lin piece. So if you see here, history, searching password in history, and that is what we want. Here you can see sudo l. User Mike in his bash history execute executed some commands, that is sudo l, to check the permissions, and what he did after that, add his password. Let me copy this password, and also let me make it a code block for that information, because we need to copy that flag from here. So paste, and this is the password for Mikey user. So we are managed to get his password, Mike, and his password is this. And let me demonstrate this also to you. So if I uh, do sudo dash l here, you can see it will ask for our password. And here what Mike did is After executing sudo l, then he entered his password. And we don't know the dub data's password. So we are going to control C that password because we don't know that password. Now let me switch user to Mike. How we can do that? By su command. Switch user to Mike. Let me press enter and let me paste the password of Mike and press enter, and we are Mike. So who am I? This is Mike. Now let's see what Mike have in his home directory. Cd home ls and cd to Mike ls, and here is our user text. Now let me cat out the user text using cat command. User.text. Press enter and here is our flag. Now we are managed to compromise the user, that is Mike, and let's see if Mike has root permissions or not. So if not if, we have to dump that information to our notes in a code block. So user text, and it will go inside my code block. Save that file. Let's go back, and now we have to check the permission of user Mike. What Mike is able to execute as root. So how we can do that? Using sudo dash l. So here is our output. This is an interesting information. Let me grab a screenshot of that too. So what Mike can do is, let me grab a screenshot first from here, and Mike can do run this file as root without password. Let me copy this information and paste it inside my notes. Okay, so Mike can run bin bash into the opt directory, and we have rootkit.sh. So this is what Mike is able to run as root. Let's see if we can run that same file as root. So we have to supply sudo bin bash and then the file opt rootkit.sh. Let me press enter, and we are able to execute that file. What would you like to version check update? What would you like to version check update, list, or read the report? So what we have to do here is, let's check the version check. Let me press enter, and download failed. Okay, let's try update. Update failed. Okay, let's go to, let me read. Let's see what's inside this file. Okay, so here you can see that nano editor is opened. So Mike is able to open nano editor as root. So let's see if we have any exploit for nano. So where we have to go to find that is gtfo bins. Let's see if we can see if we can run nano and elevate our privileges to root. So nano, and yes, we can do something. Nano un unprivileged. Okay, so here is the result of nano. Let me grab a not screenshot, let me copy this thing and let me first grab a screenshot from here. So this is the file and we are managed to open nano and we are managed to open the rootkit file. Let me copy this and paste it inside my notes. And after that, here the user mic is able to is able to run nano as root. So if we check our GTAPO wins, we can see that this is what we are going to use to alleviate our privileges. So if we press nano, it will open the nano and then control R, control X, and after that we have to execute this command. So let me copy this command. Let me go back to nano and control R. What we have to do? Control R, control X, control R, control R, control X, command to execute. And what we have to execute here, it is this is in my clipboard and press enter. Executing, and this will give us our font symbol. That means we are root. Now if I ls, and here is the user text. User text, we know the user text. Let me go back a directory, ls cd back directory, ls again, cd to root, and ls and cat the root dot text, and we are managed to hack the simple image gallery. Let me copy this flag and put it here, which is root dot text inside a code block. And also the screenshot of this too, same shot, and here we are able to make ourselves root. Copy this. Wait, let's also type here who am I, and you can see we are root. Let me grab a screenshot, copy it and paste it here. Now let's go back and answer some of the questions that we have inside our questions. So what is the user flag? That is this one. Let me copy this user flag and paste it here. But we don't, with without having the admin users hash, we are managed to own that room. Now let's copy the root flag, paste it here, check, and how we can find the admin users hash password. So that will be done by maybe SQL injection if we are managed to dump all the database, and inside the database all the passwords is stored as hashes. So how we can do that? We can do that by Sqlmap. Let me close these things here because we don't need them anymore. And let's see. So in the search exploit, I saw a SQL injection field and there is a txt file. So let me grab that file. Simple image gallery and I'm talking about this file. So let me grab this and mirror it into my current directory by using the -m flag. Okay, ls, and let me rename that file to sql 5 to sql.txt. ls, clear the screen, cat sql text. Let me see what they are doing here. So description: simple image gallery application is vulnerable to SQL injection via ID parameter on the album page. Okay, login in the application with the verified user credential. Step 2 this. Step 3 this. Run the SQL map command. This test.rec dash dash dbs. And how we can grab that file? Click on the image and capture the request in burp suite. Now copy the request and save it as test.requirements. Okay, so what we have to do here is using some burp suite for SQL map. Let me see the step 5. And this will inject successfully and you will have an information disclosure of all the database's contents. So let's do that. paste it here, and that's the correct answer. And we are managed to own that image gallery system. So this is how you can do your enumeration, and we have successfully completed that gallery machine, and it's an easy room, and it's not look that easy. So I hope you learn from this video a lot, and if you do, please do like and subscribe my channel. And now I will meet you in our cybersecurity learning roadmap series. So bye bye and take care.